Never get out of bed again. Never get out of bed again. Never get out of bed again.
Hey guys, welcome back to Standing Boy Reviews. Thank you for taking the time to check out my channel and to talk about your favorite horror films and my favorite horror films. I'm your host, Stanley, and I know it's been a while. I got hit with a copyright infringement. How? I'm not entirely sure. Well, I know exactly what happened, actually. I used a Pussycat Doll song in my last review and got hit with some sort of monetary thingy. Basically what that means is I will not be making any money on my Titanic 666 review in the future. Bummer. So I took a week off or so and I decided to make a music video, which is available on this channel. I'm going to make a separate channel eventually for music related stuff because a lot of you might not know that I am a singer. I moved to LA when I was 18 to pursue music type dreams, and something came over me a couple weeks ago and I decided to make a music video for a song I recorded, if you want to check it out. And I'm also going to attach a link for my SoundCloud that's been laying dormant for who knows how long. It's right here. And yeah, so also my sister was visiting for an extended period of time. So happy Friday the 13th. You won't be watching this on Friday the 13th, but I'm recording this on Friday the 13th. Happy one to you. I listened to an interview that my friends over at Happy Horror Time did with Larpar Lincoln, and that inspired me to pull out my copy of Friday the 13th Part 7, and that's what we're gonna review today. Because you know what? It's one of the better, if not the best, entries in the Friday franchise, and that's where I'm at in life. I just want to talk about one of the Friday the 13th movies, even if I'm wearing a Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt. This was made by my friend Ryan, by the way. So, here we are. Also, real quick, if you guys haven't checked out Happy Horror Time, you guys should listen to that podcast. It's really awesome. And my friends Matt and Tim, who are the hosts, they made a really cool short movie called Come In, which is available on YouTube. It's really creepy. It's only 15 minutes long. It's gay themed, and you guys should check it out. I'm going to attach the link at the end of this review. Watch it. It's really, really awesome. And listen to their podcast. They're really good friends of mine, and they're really cool supporters of my channel, and go support them as well. Okay, so if you're watching this channel, I can only assume that you have seen one or all of the Friday the 13th movies, so I shouldn't have to break any of these films down for you, but I like what I do, and I'm a good guy, so I'm going to. Friday the 13th is about a little boy who drowns in a lake. Years later, his mother avenges his death and kills all the camp counselors that she feels are responsible for his death. I just spoiled the entire first film for you, but whatever. The second, third, and fourth films are about the boy, Jason, who actually never drowned. He's been living in the bushes, eating rats and feeding off of the land, killing counselors who are trying to reopen the camp, and they're getting stoned and having sex, and he doesn't like that. The fourth film was supposed to be the final chapter. It's called The Final Chapter. The studios were greedy and money hungry and decided to have a fifth film, which pulled a Halloween 3 and didn't bring Jason back. It didn't fare very well, so they had a sixth installment come out in 1986 called Jason Lives, where Jason was reanimated by a lightning bolt, and that gave him superhuman strength and supernatural abilities. And from that point forward, he was unstoppable and was the Jason that we've all come to know and love and cheer for. Which brings us to Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. This was actually the movie that introduced me to the Friday the 13th franchise. I used to watch it late at night on HBO when I was like 6 or 7 years old. Back then, it scared the holy hell out of me. This was the Jason that I was introduced to. The spine that was exposed, the lumbering, stalking, spooky Jason. And this was the Friday movie that urged me to go to the local Blockbuster and rent all the movies prior and after up until that point. The New Blood was released on May 13th, 1988, 34 years ago to this day. It grossed $19.1 million on a $2.8 million budget, proving the franchise still had some juice. It was directed by John Carl Buechler, who had only directed 3 or 4 horror films, but was a special effects master. He had done special effects for movies like Prison, Ghoulies, Troll, Reanimator. quite a few films. Harry Manfredini would come back to do the music, but this would be the first Friday film that he would have a collaborative effort in the form of a guy named Fred Mullen. The movie was written by Manuel Fidello and Daryl Haney, and also this would be the first of 4 films where Jason would be consistently played by the same person, and that would be Kane Hodder. And fun fact, I serve Kane Hodder at the restaurant that I work at quite often, and he is one of the nicest guys I have ever met in my life. Just saying. Another fun fact, this was supposed to be the first Friday film that would introduce Freddy Krueger into the series, but Paramount did not have an easy time acquiring the rights or agreeing with New Line Cinema to get Freddy involved. So that would not happen until 2003 with Freddy vs. Jason. Anyway, let's get into it. The movie is about a girl named Tina who 10 years prior killed her father with her telekinetic powers at Camp Crystal Lake. So now, 10 years later, she is coming back to the lake with her doctor and her mother to kind of deal with the grief and remorse. But the doctor is just really there to experiment on her and bank on it for the most part. He's not a good guy. We have a sister to Carrie on our hands, and it's pretty awesome. Next door to Tina's cabin is a birthday party that's going on. Originally, the movie was titled Birthday Bash. That was so the cast didn't know what movie they were shooting. It wasn't until like midway into production that they even knew that they were filming a Friday the 13th film, which is kind of neat. Anyway, next door is a birthday party being thrown by hottie Nick.
Don't go out there!
Played by Kevin Spiritus, who would later go on to do Days of Our Lives and a softcore porno film that I remember very clearly and probably is a reason why I'm gay, called Striking Resemblance. And he was also in The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. He's throwing a birthday party for his cousin Michael, and he has a whole bunch of his friends there.
You people give me the creeps.
During the first night there is a failed experiment with Dr. Cruz and Tina, and she ends up bringing Jason back to life with her telekinesis. And in the prior movie, Jason was chained and left in the lake. Real quick, if you guys haven't seen Jason Lives, Friday the 13th Part 6, I highly recommend it. It is so much fun. It's goofy, it's scary, and it's one of the better entries in this franchise. Because a lot of these movies are kind of dumb and silly, but it's a blast. Tina brings Jason back to life and he starts doing what he does best. You guys, I really like this movie, but the lack of blood. Like, this movie is virtually bloodless and it doesn't make a lot of sense for me. The MPAA had a heyday with this movie. They edited the out of it. And we do get aftermath of what Jason did, but a lot of the kills are off screen and it's a little disappointing. Regardless, Jason is really mean in this installment, and we get a lot of really cool kills, like bodies in sleeping bags getting smashed against trees, and party horns in the eye, and axes in the face. Jason is relentless in this film. I wish that there was a version that had just all the kills edited back in its X-rated glory, because this movie was originally rated X and they had to cut out a lot. But with that aside, it's a good movie. The acting is very good. Lar Parr-Lincoln is a good actress. I love a girl who can cry, and I love a girl who can scream, and I love a girl who can act simultaneously. Lar Parr-Lincoln delivers. She has an interesting name. She does the Carrie thing very well, and I think the Carrie elements in this movie combined with the Friday the 13th storyline are pretty top notch. Like, some people don't like it, but I think that it makes sense and it's a new direction. It works. Kevin Spiritus also does really well with what he's given. I think Dr. Cruz is despicable and I love to hate him, and I think he's one of the better characters in any of these movies. And between Tina and Dr. Cruz alone, I think there's a lot going on and there's a lot to work with. There is a really intense chase scene with a character named Maddie that goes from the woods to a barn, and I think that's one of the best chase scenes in the entire series. I think this is one of the only movies where you get to see Jason unmasked, and the way that it's handled and the special effects involved are awesome. So good. The special effects in this movie are really good and worth watching alone. And again, while the movie is virtually bloodless, the aftermath of the kills are still worth the editing flaws. And I really need to mention the music. Harry Manfredini always scores with these movies, but adding Fred Mullen to throw in some certain musical cues, especially with like the telekinetic parts where Lar Parr-Lincoln is doing her thing and moving furniture around and throwing TVs with her mind and stuff. I love those parts. And the music kind of stays with you after the movie's over. It's very Carrie, and I love Carrie. Carrie is one of my top 20 favorite horror films, and there is so much Carrie in this movie, and it's really interesting and fascinating to see. You never think that you're gonna see Jason duke it out with like a worthy opponent, and he has a worthy opponent in Tina.
Jason?
On standing stab-o-meter, I would give this a good 3.5 stabs. There are certain pacing issues, like especially towards the end, but out of all the Friday films, this is my go-to. It's a lot of fun, the writing is good, the acting is good, and the kills, even though they lack a lot of blood, they're creative. It's really fun to watch Jason pull all these gardening tools out of his ass. You never know where they come from, but they just appear, and you don't really care because it's a Friday the 13th movie, and you just are excited to see Jason hack up all these pseudo teenagers, and you're just along for the ride. And you're never gonna see a Carrie versus Jason film unless you watch Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Give it a shot, and you guys, I'm so happy to be back. I'll be back again next week. Don't forget to subscribe. We're getting very close to 200 subscribers, you guys. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and keep coming back. Take care for now.
Don't go out there!